Welcome to the Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
And what are we doing today?
We are actually going to show you how we meal plan.
Yep.
We actually do not use traditional paper and pen. So we actually use our computer to do it. So
we're nerdy like that.
We're nerdy like that. So we're going to show you how we do that. And we're going to tell you that one of the reasons why I love doing it this way is because what I'm doing is totally free. Doesn't cost anything to use Google Sheets or Google Drive.
Yep.
You can link it to all your devices. So if he goes to the store without me, or we separate in the store to get our shopping done faster, we both can see the whole meal plan, the whole grocery list, everything.
Yep.
Right there at the touch of our hands. And we can mark off whichever item we just purchased, and the other one will immediately be able to see that it was marked off, and they won't be walking around the store buying the same stuff. So it's a great way to be able to separate in the store and get your shopping done faster. And you're both on the same page because you can both see what you got.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and show you how we do it. We're going to try to do this as fast as we can so that we don't make this video too long. So let's get to it. Okay, so we're showing you the actual Google Drive document that we have. You will see on the first page is where we have our actual grocery list. If you see all those things that have lines through them and they're in bold print, that was because this was last week's and I haven't cleared out everything yet. So that's where I start every week, is I clear everything out from the week before. Also, just as a note, some of the things we know that we buy almost every week, we don't take those off until we know whether or not we're buying it again. If we see that, yes, we are buying a bag of Cheetos, then we'll just unbold it and take the strike through line out of it. And then that means that, yes, we do have to buy that again. Just like that. So, that's my first step. And also I want to just give you a quick little note in saying that if it feels overwhelming to do all your meal planning at one time, you're like, my kids keep interrupting me, or, you know, something like that, you do not have to do your meal plan all in one day. Mm-hmm. I usually do my inventory on like Wednesday, and then on Thursday, I might put my actual meal plan together. Friday, I actually will start writing out all the ingredients and items like that. And Saturday, I usually look through rebate apps and things like that and see if I can find any deals to make them cheaper. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to do everything all at one time, like devote maybe 15 minutes a day on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it won't feel as...
overwhelming.
Yeah, that word. Okay, so let's do this. So scroll that over just a little bit. Joel's manning this for me. As you can see, this was last week's meal plan. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to see what did we actually use and what do we have left out of that meal plan. We have homemade pizza almost every Saturday, so we're not going to actually remove that. We're going to start with the Sunday thing. We did have the chicken. We're going to mark that out. We have the chicken and wild rice soup. And we haven't got to Sunday yet because this is Friday.
Yep.
All right, so let's go ahead and just take the leftovers off of that.
Yep.
But we are going to have leftovers of the taco soup tonight, so that's where we are on that, and we'll still have homemade pizza tomorrow. So that means we have left the chicken and gravy, and of course some leftovers. We're going to have the leftovers tonight. We may go ahead with the chicken and gravy on Sunday. So copy and paste that into Sunday there. Right there. There you go. And take it out of that spot. Okay, so that's what we have left. And so now we're going to move over to our freezer inventory. And we're going to start checking everything that we have in the freezer. We're going to see how many pounds of ground beef we have, how much pulled pork we have, how many boneless, skinless chicken breasts we have. So we're going to count that, and then we're going to come back and show you the completed amount. But we're just going to go through our freezer and see what we got. We always start with our freezer first because to us, the meat products is your most expensive thing. So you don't want to forget that you have meat and then keep buying more. So we're going to do that real quick, and we will pick it up after we've counted. We're back with our freezer inventory done. So that is that. As you can see, we don't have very much ground beef to work with, and we got some chicken to work with. So we're now going to move over to back to our grocery list page, back to the meal plan, and we're going to start filling in stuff. Now, because we like to do one try something new recipe every month, the first thing that I do is I go to Pinterest, and I won't take you through the whole process, but I'll just show you our Pinterest page pretty quickly. So as you can see, we've got a lot of boards there, and I will look for something for some inspiration, maybe something I've pinned before in the past. I really love to use a whole chicken in a meal, and then use the pre-cooked chicken as a secondary meal that follows it the next day using that pre-cooked chicken that we had from the whole chicken. Also, sometimes we look for different recipes that maybe have ground beef in it. So I'm not sure where we will go this time. We may look for some soup recipes or something since it's fall. I mean, it never gets chilly here in Florida, really, but it is fall, so I tend to use a lot of soup recipes because they tend to have leftovers. So we may look for something like that. Just one recipe each 2 weeks. We do not look for more than that because we don't want to overwhelm ourselves with trying new recipes. So we're not going to show that part right now, but you can see our board if you ever want to look at it. We have the word healthy on all of the boards, but it's because we look for some healthy alternatives when we make it. It's not because the recipe was necessarily healthy when we chose it. So anyway, we're going to do that, and we're going to pick one of those. We will have our Pinterest account linked in the description if you want to look at it and see all the recipes that we have there. But we will fill that in off camera. Okay, so it's the next day.
Yep.
Hence well, I have a different shirt on. Do you have it?
I do not.
Okay.
I have the same shirt on. Because I didn't know we were going to acknowledge it was the next day.
I have a different shirt on.
Okay.
Okay, so what I've done in the meantime was, like I said, I was going to go ahead and create the meal plan. So the first thing I had to do was figure out that try something new recipe from Pinterest. And what I settled on was a pizza pasta recipe. And one of the reasons why was because I had a pound of elbow noodles in the pantry that I didn't know what to do with. So it was like, this would be great. I will specifically search Pinterest for an elbow noodle pasta recipe. So this is, I came up with that one. So that was filled in for the Tuesday. And so as you can see, we've got chicken and gravy. We've got our pizza pasta. We have a spatchcock chicken followed by the chicken crack soup. If you saw that recipe, you saw that we used like 3 boneless chicken breasts that I had to boil ahead of time. And I said I should have used pre-cooked chicken for it because it would have made the recipe even faster. So that's what I'm going to do is the spatchcock chicken. Then the next night we'll use the leftover pre-cooked chicken for that recipe. And we've got our normal homemade pizza, and pulled pork was something that we've already made and we just have to pull it out of the freezer. And, you know, heat it up and, you know, make some barbecue sauce to go with it. We have homemade barbecue sauce that we will also link in the eye in the sky for you guys. The next week, we're going to do a lasagne pasta. And then the beef taco mac, we had cavatappi pasta, so noodles. So we're like, okay, we can use that. And that will be using up something else in the pantry. the cheesy chicken. We have plenty of chicken in the freezer, I think, to make that. And we had 2 cans of cheddar cheese soup in the pantry. So we're using up our pantry and freezer this way.
Yep.
The cheeseburger soup was something we just hadn't had in a while. It was really good. And like I may have mentioned earlier, I think I did, we like to do soups in the fall. So now we're going to go, down at the bottom of this is some ingredients right there. And that is for a recipe that we're going to try that is making bread in a slow cooker.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, oh, that sounds cool. And if we like it, we may be using that for Thanksgiving and stuff. So that's not our normal meal plan stuff though. Okay, so now we're going to go over to our ingredient summary page. And as you can see, I've already started filling out all the ingredients that we need. Now, what I left blank was this one for the chicken crack soup because I wanted to show you how easy it is for us to do that. We're just going to scroll over here to soup recipes. We're going to scroll down to that recipe, which is, where's that? Did I pass it? There it is. Copy and paste those ingredients over into the ingredient summary page. Okay. And now just do the back button. There you go. Then the ingredient summary page, and just copy and paste it where that was. And as you can see, got all the ingredients. Now we got an entire list of every ingredient we need for any recipe that we thought of. Now what we're going to do off camera is we're going to be looking at all of these ingredients. We're going to go through our pantry, our freezer, see what we already have. We're going to mark those off. So for instance, we know that we have, let's look. We know that we have 1 pound of ground beef. Remember that was in the freezer inventory. So we're just going to just delete it off. We're just going to delete that off. And so anything like that, we know that we make our own chicken broth. So we're going to take that out. Anything like that, we know that we will have milk. We always have milk in the house, almond milk generally speaking, but we will just take that out. We know that we just bought a whole jar of apple cider vinegar, so we're going to take that out. And we're just going to quickly go through, do that with all of our ingredients, and when we come back, we will show you what is left, what we're actually going to have to buy, and then what we do from there, okay? Okay, so now we're back. We've gone through all of our stuff. As you can see, we have taken a lot of things off the list. And think about if we did not do that before we went to the store and we only thought, I need all these ingredients for a recipe, I might come back with things that end up being thrown in the garbage can because I bought too much. So that's the reason why we meal plan and we inventory. So what we're going to do now, we copy and paste it over to our grocery list page. So as you can see, that was cheese, and there should be, go on over, there you go, now go up, there you go. Under dairy, we're going to put that we need to buy some mozzarella. So we're going to do that with all the ingredients until we have them all moved over to this grocery list page. Okay, so now you can see we have moved all of our ingredients over to our grocery list, with the exception of in the second week, we need carrots, celery, potatoes, and hamburger buns for the pulled pork. We don't want any of that stuff to go bad, so we're leaving that, and on the second week we will go back and get that, plus any other maybe breakfast or lunch food items or something that we feel like we need more of. But that is the second week. The next week when I put together the grocery list, I can easily go copy and paste those 4 things, bring them over to the grocery list, and then just say, is there anything else you need? And then after we add things like that, we've got the whole list, and I spent like 10 minutes. Yep. So that's the second week. But now we're going to go back to this week where we're doing a whole 2-week meal plan with the exception of those 4 ingredients. So go back to that grocery list page. This is what we're actually going to be buying. Other than we haven't asked our son if he needs anything, but other than that, these are all the items, with the exception of we got those few ingredients for that bread, slow cooker bread recipe. But other than that, this is everything. And all I have to do now is just scroll through Ibotta, check out 51, Inbox Dollars, and coupons.com has an app as well. I just will scroll through that, see if I find any rebates that actually match those items that we're going to buy, and then I might adjust what we're like brands or something if it looks like a really good deal. But since we price compare, we always take into account first what the actual price is of the things, and if the coupon or the rebate doesn't bring the price down lower than like a generic brand or something, we still don't buy it.
Yep.
But I will scroll through there and I will see, especially on some of these apps, they will have any item, or like Inbox Dollars will give you like a few cents back for buying bananas or something like that. Those are the things that I'm really after, is those things that doesn't have to be brand specific. But that is really the whole thing, and at that point, we're ready to go grocery shopping.
All right, that's right. So drop us a comment below and let us know how your grocery shopping goes, or your meal plan, how you navigate the stores with your list. If you make a list, if you don't make a list, if you have some tips for us you'd like to give us, we'd love to know that.
Or if you navigate it online.
Yeah.
And
online.
Do you price compare online?
Yeah, let us know that in the comments below.
Can be done.
Yeah, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell for updates when we upload new videos on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and sometimes on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, I think that's going to do it today for the Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
Don't forget it's a long run. Give yourself a little grace.
Bye.